Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 833, Thanksgiving Preview. Hello, Big Chillians. Welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. I'm Frank, joined as always with Eddie. Eddie, how's it going? Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Things are going pretty well. Recovering from a cold/flu, but other than that, doing well.
Yeah. So we were just talking a little bit before we hopped on here. You're going to be doing a little Thanksgiving dinner on Friday. I'm going to be making a Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. Now, I slightly screwed myself here because I wasn't going to do anything for Thanksgiving because it's just two of us. I didn't feel like cooking everything. And then I went to the store to buy groceries for like the next few days because I probably, everyone's off of work. So I figured I'll just get some food so I can hang out at home, watch the football games, things like that. And then I got there and they had like a bunch of turkeys left and all these turkey breasts. And then there was like, usually, the day before Thanksgiving, everything sold out, right? But like, everything was still there. Like, and it was right in front. You're like, oh, look at all the boxes of stuffing left. Look at all this stuff for mac and cheese. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just do everything. So I bought a bunch of shit and now I'm going to do like almost an entire Thanksgiving meal for the two of us. And then I get in the car, bought all the stuff, get in the car. I turn on my Instagram and what do I see? A fucking Cedar Inn post that they're doing a Thanksgiving dinner at the Cedar Inn in Minneapolis. Let me read you the menu, Eddie. Now, for those not aware, the Cedar Inn, Eddie and I spent 4 nights in a row at the Cedar Inn. Best wings in Minneapolis and $5 or $4 pints of ham. But it is Thanksgiving. Open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And then parentheses, just like every day, 365 days a year, including Christmas. They love to put this in. Menu.
Just to interrupt. That's a solid claim to fame for a bar.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of funny, but that is a solid to have a bar around you that any day of the week, every day of the year is open. I think that's kind of admirable. I feel sorry for the people who have to work some of those days. Thanksgiving, I think I would be very happy to work behind. I have in the past worked behind a bar in Thanksgiving, but that was not in the U.S., so that's different. But Christmas would never, zero chance. But Thanksgiving, I could talk myself into.
Menu, your choice of super salad, broccoli cheese soup, or fresh spring mix with tomato, cucumber, radish, onion, your choice of dressing. We just talked off podcast. Have salad on Thanksgiving is a little tough.
The only way you can do it
healthy. I don't want to eat healthy.
The only way you can do it is like as a starter, you have to have distinct courses because if everything's going on the same plate and you have that mixture of textures and temperatures, then I think the salad's just getting ruined. But then the debate is like, do you want to just fill up on salad and then deprive yourself of the things that you're only going to eat that once a year, whereas you can have salad anytime?
Yeah. I don't know about a broccoli cheese soup though. Nothing I'm feeling that. Maybe I'll just skip the choice of super salad.
I like broccoli cheese soup.
It's okay. It wouldn't be my soup of choice.
That's a good winter soup.
Main course. Sliced turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, green bean casserole, cranberries, roasted Brussels sprouts and carrots, and a breadstick. It's a good plate.
I don't know what the breadstick's doing there, but sure.
I don't know why they just didn't do like rolls.
It feels like the breadstick just got thrown in there.
They probably got it from Olive Garden. They got a good deal on breadsticks. My question though is, do you think this is just one plate? Or do you think this is like can you give me a little extra stuffing or a little extra turkey?
Yeah,
it reads like a plate. It reads like a plate.
Yeah, and it's hard to run a bar or restaurant where you're allowing people to have variable amounts.
We've seen this bar.
No, sure.
If there's a bar that could do it, it's this bar. They got a fucking guy in a chicken suit running around.
but the Eggman's going to make a killing on Thanksgiving.
Dessert, your choice of apple, pecan, or pumpkin pie, all topped with whipped cream. Or this, I don't know who chooses the or in this scenario. A serving of vanilla pudding topped with whipped cream. Who's just getting vanilla pudding over like a piece of pie?
I don't really know it. By vanilla pudding, as in like
Yes.
pudding you'd have out of a. Okay.
That's yeah, like a Jello cup of pudding.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much do you think that whole 3-course meal is costing you at the Cedar Inn?
$40.
$16.95.
That's a pretty good deal. Look, put it this way.
I was so upset after I saw this.
That's so cheap that even if you wanted more and you had to pay for a full second meal, you're still doing fine.
$33 for two, or $34 for two.
Call it 40 with your tip.
Yeah.
you're
for
looking
two
fine.
Massive plates of food. If it's anything like their chicken wings, it's got to be a big plate.
Yeah. No, they were definitely generous portions for sure. So, yeah, I would expect it would be. And also the food looked, not only the chicken wings, a couple of other things we saw people get looked pretty decent. So I'd also believe that they do a reasonable job with it.
Yeah. I'm a little upset that I would have done this. I think this would have been a good adventure.
You still can.
I've bought too much food now.
You just do that over the weekend.
That's a lot of turkey and stuffing and stuff. Like, I don't want to have all the stuff again.
But the stuffing, you've bought real stuff for stuffing, or you've bought a box of stuffing?
No, a box of stuffing. But then I'm just never going to, then it's just going to get through. I'm never going to use it.
Just save it for, I don't think I've ever had boxed stuffing, but wouldn't it last for years?
Maybe. I don't know.
Like,
probably. But yeah, it's, I mean, and the other part is, right? I mean, according to J.D. Vance, turkey sucks. Have you heard this rant?
Yeah, you're a piece of shit if you eat turkey, according to him.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit liar if you tell me you like turkey. What's crazy about this is not only one is he wrong, because like good turkey is good. I mean, there's two people eat turkey sandwiches all the time. They just don't have a whole roast turkey. And then his reasoning is, he's like, do you ever go out on a non-Thanksgiving day and make a turkey? It's like, no, I don't buy an 18-pound turkey for
not
me,
only that,
for me and one other person.
He specifies the size. He literally,
he does. He says it big.
Do you just normally go and buy cook yourself a 15-pound bird? Obviously not.
Yeah.
Because unless I'm a family of 8 people, that would be completely, just a complete waste. But people
which isn't true though, because like my family has other parties other than Thanksgiving, and we actually almost always have a turkey. Like if you have enough people, you throw a turkey in, it's a good dish to have, like, you know, like turkey and another meat. It's not bad. Like it'll feed a whole party, like a small, like a family gathering, not like a party of 60 people, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like
no, for sure. But people eat, as you pointed out, people eat turkey and turkey sandwiches all the time. It might be one of the most popular deli meats. On top of it, I mean, yes. Do I cook a whole turkey for myself? No, but I buy turkey breast and cook that at home.
Yeah.
Throughout the year. Like it's not, admittedly, I get it. People, the criticism of turkey that it's dry and kind of bland, it often is because of the way people cook it, and that people cook it who don't really know what they're doing, and it's a lot of meat to cook, and so it tends to just dry out. You know, I'm a big advocate for the way that I cook turkey. I think it's the best way, which is slow it overnight. I think it's the only way to do it. But other than that, I think turkey can be delicious.
No, I agree with you. And then the best part is then not only does he make that deranged statement, but then he goes on and says, it's not like chicken. Chicken's so great. Like you can eat chicken. However, it's almost identical to chicken. It's a slightly bigger chicken. The texture's a little different, but it's not like as if he said, it's like he said, it's not like prime rib. Do you know what I mean? That's a different thing. But it's like he took the next closest meat you could take to turkey and described it. And then he goes, but then what's even better, he's like, you know what? Like turkey's so bad, you have to like deep fry it to make it good. It's like, you're right, JD Vance. No one fries chicken. No one likes fried chicken. I've never even fucking heard of that. Maybe we should do that, Eddie. Maybe we should invent fried chicken. That'd be a fucking gold mine.
The things that set you off are so interesting.
But it's just so stupid. People are just so dumb, like what they say things.
They are dumb. But, this is an episode where we're supposed to be, it's Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be grateful. We're supposed to show our appreciation for things. And, here you are, you're being Mr. Frank anti-American. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to show some respect to the country that I grew up in and, and to the country from which this day originates. And so I wanted to share with you the beauty of my Instagram algorithm just threw up. Speaking of that type of weird male sort of toxic masculinity that was on display in J.D. Vance's speech.
Is that toxic masculinity?
A little bit, because he's basically saying if you like turkey, you're a bitch. Like that is kind of, this is really what he's saying. But I will share. Are you familiar with bearskin hoodies?
No. Should I be?
Probably not. I was not prior.
So it's not me. It's not me that got your algorithm going.
Probably not. Let me just play a little bit of this ad.
Oh, I've seen that guy. I've seen that guy at the Eagle downtown.
So just give this a listen. Don't interrupt the first 15 seconds of this.
Okay.
I get that
you're a man.
There's an element of joking within that. It's a little bit Budweiser, Real American Hero kind of vibe to it. But there's also the person who ends up buying that, I don't thinks that's a joke. I want to know how that landed on my Instagram algorithm. Now, unfortunately, because I engaged with it by watching it, I get them. It's every fourth thing I scan on my reels. But... and not helped by the fact that I then wanted to find it on YouTube, so searched for it. So now it's going to be relentless.
Now you're done for.
Oh yeah, especially
now like this guy. We got to get him like a subscription.
Especially just before Black Friday, they must think that I'm just desperate for a very manly hoodie. But it's
a non-weak hoodie.
No, a tactical hoodie. Because I've always thought this is the thing that holds a lot of my hoodies back is the lack of tactical elements within them.
Pretty much. Well, I'll tell you what's killing my algorithm now is one of my students in my lab is leaving my lab to go to another lab. So I normally always buy, whenever my students officially graduate and leave, I get them like a nice going away gift, like a thank you gift. And for this individual, they are going to be my new pickleball partner. So I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll get them a nice pickleball racket or paddle. And then, that way we can start playing in tournaments and things like that and kind of hanging out and doing that. So I started searching for pickleball paddles, and now every third thing on my Instagram is pickleball related. Now I hate to break it, but now I've got a full pickleball return machine coming for $5,000. I ordered that yesterday. It shoots out 400 pickleballs at a clip. I've got that coming. I've got private lessons with the guy down the street in Minneapolis. I got that. That was only $2,000. But no, it's crazy. Every other fucking ad now. And how are there so many pickleball paddle companies for a sport that's been around for 3 years? There's 20 different companies to buy paddles from. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I also, because when we were together and we were going to go play pickleball, and we had that evening when we were kind of checking on pickleball rules, and we watched something on your TV, but then even when I went back to my room, I watched a couple of things too, just to really brush up, make sure I was familiar with all the nuances. So now YouTube Shorts, every fifth or sixth short I get is someone telling you the do's and don'ts of pickleball, or why this serve is illegal or why this isn't illegal, or when you should, the importance of your fourth shot, or, all these little things they refer to. It's bad. I've not got that much interest in pickleball.
Yeah, me neither. And the more I watch clips of it, the more I think I'm going to be screwed, because I feel like there's a lot of unwritten rules to pickleball, more so even than tennis. You've told me a few of them in tennis, you're not really supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, and you got to apologize when you do this. But it looks like there's a lot more in pickleball. It looks like there's a lot of unwritten rules, and people get fucking cranky I think
people are pretty sensitive from what I see with pickleball, because again, it feels
they're fucking
it's
old and athletic.
Well, I don't know if
they're not
necessarily
athletes.
They're athletic. They're old and athletic. You paid them a compliment there.
They're old, and athletic.
Wait, what? But I do think it tends to attract a type of person who maybe hasn't really played competitive sport previously.
Yeah.
So then they get a little butthurt when some stuff happens that, in the heat of a competitive game, you just have to accept. Like even in tennis, I get a bit annoyed by the can't hit at someone. And I mean, look, I'm not going to nail you with an overhead smash when you're 3 feet from me, but people get really antsy about like, oh, you're trying to hit a passing shot and you hit it right at me. I was trying to win the point. Like that was the best move. And if you want me to not do it, just hit it back over the net and then I'll never do that again. Like that's the simple answer. But if my only two options are going down the line or hitting it right at you and you sell out to try and protect down the line, then I'm going to hit it right at you. I don't know why that should be something that upsets you.
Yeah, especially in pickleball too, because everyone crowds the net. And it's like you get this big lob and now I can't hit it hard like towards you. Like there's two people on a court. There's not much space that I can like return a smash without kind of hitting someone. And if you're going to crowd the net, that should be a consequence of crowding the net. You want to get up front, better take some balls to the face.
Pause, as the young kids say. But and plus it's a wiffle ball. It can't hurt.
Yeah.
Even a tennis ball can barely really hurt you. Like if it caught you in the eye, it could do a little bit of damage. But a wiffle ball, I could stand to the net all day and just from the guy with the hardest wiffle ball shot in the world, just if that was like a forfeit that I had for losing a bet, it wouldn't remotely concern me. It would just be like, okay, this is going to be slightly annoying to just get hit by wiffle balls, but it's not going to hurt me.
So I have a trivia question, I guess, that can bring us into some of the NFL games because obviously, Thanksgiving, 2.5 good NFL games, I think you could say. I think the third one is still compelling, even though maybe teams wise, it's not as good. So we went to a brewery the other day and they had a trivia board game kind of thing called OK Boomer. You ever played this game before? So basically it's just trivia cards with 2 trivia questions per card, but there's different decks for different generations of people. So it's like, if you're a millennial, this is like the deck that you should know the answers to. It went all the way to the silent generation, baby boomers, millennials, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z. I think that was it. Yeah. And the Gen Z. So we ended up, the way we played it was you had to get both questions right on a card from every generation to like win or whatever. So one of the questions came up that I thought was a really good question and I did not get it right. I wanted to see if you got it right. It's a sports related question, specifically football. I'll give you the first one that was on there. This was in the millennial deck. History. Who created the Department of Homeland Security to help fight terrorist threats in 2002?
George Bush.
George W. Bush.
W. Bush, sure.
Okay, and then this was the sports one. Which NFL running back was the first to appear solo on the cover of an EA Sports Madden video game? Much more difficult than the first question. This is what would happen sometimes. You'd get like crazy easy ones and then like a super specific question. Now, I will say this. I did not get it. I got the second running back, which really pissed me off because I thought I nailed it.
So the only one I can remember, the earliest one I can remember is Peyton Hillis, who was definitely on a Madden cover. But then that feels kind of late because that must have been whenever that was, 2008. I can't remember when Peyton Hillis was in the NFL. But I remember he had the one good year, then he was on Madden, then he disappeared.
Peyton Hillis was 2012 on the cover of Madden.
So there must have been someone before Peyton Hillis.
There was 3 running backs before Peyton Hillis.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess I'll go Emmitt Smith as the sort of most famous
running.
Emmitt
Smith. I'll give you the year. It's 2001, if that helps.
2001.
Madden 2001. In fact, he was the first solo athlete on it, which is kind of, the question's written a little weird. I could have just asked that.
Falk?
No, that's what I guessed. Falk was 2003. I thought I nailed it with Marshall Faulk. I remember the cover of him in like
Especially 01.
the Rams. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anyone from 01 other than Marshall Faulk who I would have thought would have been Madden cover worthy.
I did have his jersey. Eddie George.
Oh, well, that didn't age super well.
Yeah. Eddie George. Then the first quarterback the next year was Dante Culpepper.
That didn't age super well either.
Then Faulk. Then Michael Vick. Then Ray Lewis.
That didn't age well for different reasons. That was a different type of Madden curse.
Yeah, Donovan McNabb. And then the other running back in between those and Peyton Hillis was 2007, and that was Sean Alexander. And then Vince Young. Man, a lot of these didn't age very well. He kind of dropped off a cliff, too.
Yeah. Well, before we get into our full NFL Thanksgiving deep dive, maybe just a quick roundup. Champions League was back. I'll do my usual thing. It sucks now because I just don't know what the consequence of any of these matches are. It's impossible to follow. I don't know if a win matters. I don't know if a loss matters. I don't know if it matters that Liverpool lost to PSV. I don't think it does. I don't think it ever will. It's just, I don't think it doesn't matter that Manchester City lost. This
or
is
Chelsea
just,
won.
Yeah, all pointless. The notable talking point obviously is that Liverpool now lost 9 of their last 12 games. Wonderful within that is that Real Madrid somehow managed to lose to them, within that run. That's just wonderful. But yeah, and pressure growing on Slot. I saw today in the odds for the next permanent manager of Liverpool. Who do you think the favorite is?
Klopp.
2-1 favorite. Jurgen Klopp. 2-1 favorite to just come back, stroll back in as the savior of Liverpool for the second time.
And win.
Yeah. But it's a pretty terrible
That would be
run.
Amazing.
And I get it, and Liverpool fans say they're not a second club. They give managers time. And this is only a second season. And realistically, you could say if this is how he'd started last year and then he'd won the title in his second season, then everyone would have felt like that worked out. It's just a bit strange to see how much they're struggling. Their new signings, having spent £500 million, are not doing particularly well. Also, they just seem to have not really have a system or style of play in mind, which was probably the biggest criticism I think that you could have for them. But as my final rant on the Champions League, the good news coming out of all these fixtures were that UEFA opened up bidding for the next TV rights. And in England, Paramount Plus won the rights, the main broadcast rights.
What?
For the Champions League.
Well, they also they have it in the U.S. right now. It's on Paramount, all the current Champions League games.
So now, Sky will have the Conference League and the Europa League. Then Amazon Prime has one game on Tuesdays, I think it is. And then now Paramount Plus are basically taking over from TNT. In the world in which people are complaining, broadcasters and leagues are complaining about the dodgy fire sticks and people bypassing, rules, copyright laws to get access to games. The solution to that is to not just spread sports over as many streaming providers as possible. To put fans in a position where, let's say you are a Liverpool supporter, you now need to have Sky Sports, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime. At some point, maybe TNT will get something, some domestic league competition. So you have to have TNT Sport too. It's just impossible to put people in this position. Not only does it encourage people to seek out the kind of black market, gray market of ways to watch sports, but even more importantly, for young fans, you're now ensuring that generations of young people will not grow up watching those sports because they simply won't have access to them. Whereas, when we were young, you could have watched a lot of things on either free to air channels or maybe you're paying for one subscription. Now families are being put in a position where they have to subscribe to 5 or 6 services or channels in order to be able to see the things that they want their children to possibly be able to see. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's my rant over. Probably doesn't warrant
Well,
any further attention.
I mean, it's kind of like the NFL now. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Where it's like to watch all the NFL games now, you need like 9 different streaming services.
I think the difference there is, yeah, to watch everything, but to just be able to watch an NFL game on a weekend, everyone in the US can do that on a free to air channel. And so you're not depriving you're not forcing people. Like, yeah, if you want the luxury of being able to watch Red Zone plus any game of the week, then having to pay for it is annoying, but it's not that unreasonable. Whereas saying, I just want to be able to watch an NFL game this Sunday. It's like, okay, yes, you now need to pay for a service that you otherwise don't want to use. Like, that's putting people in a tough position.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the Thanksgiving games, they're on a bunch of different channels, like random.
Yeah, but you'll have one on Fox. You'll have
one on CBS.
one on
I don't know what the third
CBS.
one's on.
Might
Maybe
be
NBC?
Amazon.
Might be NBC or Amazon. Amazon tomorrow. That's Black Friday is the Amazon one.
Black Friday game. And okay, that's annoying. But I mean, also I'll say this about Amazon Prime. Most people have it at this stage.
Yeah.
It's not also super expensive. There are other reasons to have it. So at least if there was just going on Amazon, it is what it is. Like, you probably already have access to it. But when you're actually having to get Paramount Plus, you're a huge fan of
Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, basically. You really want to watch Landman or whatever. And
yeah. Yellowstone, 1883, 1923, whatever they are. Mayor of Kingstown, the Navy SEAL women one. I like that one. That's actually a good one. And then Landman. Landman is fucking pure chaos, that show. Yeah. Landman is like, I wish you watched it so we could talk about it, because it's so unhinged. Like, some of the shit that happens, it's like, how is this a TV show? So much of it is him just mansplaining like random thing where like it's like he's being that guy, but he's trying to legitimize being that guy. Like the one, I mean, last season, I'm sure those clips you've seen of like him explaining how windmills are like 10 times worse than oil and all that. But then this year they upped it and he mansplained breakfast to the host, to the server. She was like, you don't want breakfast? Most important meal of the day. He's like, it's the most important meal of the day. Who the fuck you think told you it's the most important meal of the day? Kellogg's, Post, the same people who are benefiting off it being the most important meal of the day. And like went off on a tangent. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Who cares?
Yeah, I mostly see videos making fun of just the propaganda that's being shoved down people's throats about how bad, like, oil will still save us. That, and there was that stand-up comedian who had that joke about when he kills that snake and how he basically runs an NFL-worthy 40 time.
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Those are the only things I know about the TV show. But other than that, yeah, I'll probably give it a miss. And that's the shame, is if it weren't so propagandish, it's right in my wheelhouse. Like,
but it's funny though. Like I don't think it's propagandish in the extent where, like, I think it's almost humorous. Like, to an extent, I think you could almost get satire out of it.
But that's not the intent. So you can watch it and you can try and have that enjoyment of it, but that's not the intent. And you have to acknowledge that a lot of viewers will not be seeing the humor there. They will legitimately be coming away with that being like, windmills actually worse. Like, they are actually worse. But
well, yeah. They are. So I don't know.
Yes. Anyway, so we obviously didn't have an episode where we caught up on last week. So I suggest that kind of as we preview this week's games, we can kind of refer back to major talking points from last week, if there are any.
I don't remember what happened last week.
I have specifically asked Copilot Sam to have a Thanksgiving theme in the podcast previews this week. So let's see how he does on that front. Let's kick things off with the first game, Packers-Lions. Good game on paper. Not sure it will necessarily be a good game when we watch it, because these are two teams that blow very much hot and cold. I think the Lions were one of the big disappointing performances of the last couple of weeks, even last week, kind of struggling to beat, requiring a 50, what was it, 55, 56 yard, 59 yard field goal that looked like it was missing. One of the crazier field goals I've seen.
It was never missing. That kick was never missing. It's the Giants. It was never missing.
You know how I knew it wasn't missing is because the bets that I had tied into the Lions winning were also tied in to the Eagles winning. And so as that was unraveling, I knew, lock this field goal in. This guy could take it with his back. He could backheel it over the post from here. But yeah, it was, the Lions just kind of look a little flat. We compliment them for the speed with which they play, but it just hasn't been there the last couple of weeks.
I mean, maybe the speed is just Gibbons and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the rest of the team is not very fast, because that's kind of what it's looking like. It looks like now they've got two, and I guess Sam Laporta being out is a big blow for them, because that was always like, what?
I like the calling Gibbons. That's
did I say Gibbons?
Yeah,
I like that better actually now.
Jameer Gibbons.
Yeah, Gibbs is too short. He needs to extend a little bit. But yeah, Gibbs and St. Brown. I mean, I think, when they don't have Laporta, they don't have like that intermediate drop, so everyone can kind of defend deep a little more and kind of cut off some of those like big deep throws. And then I think when Laporta's in there, it's their dynamic is so different, and it kind of sucks he's out for the year. I mean, the Lions are kind of like the NFC North San Francisco 49ers at this point, with injuries year in and year out.
We did speak about that last year. They were
screwed by injuries too.
We had this very same conversation last year, and this does actually read the struggles of Laporta, because that's his like 2 seasons in a row where he's had injuries. It does raise an interesting question about using a high draft pick on a tight end, because as devastating and game changing as they can be, I just think the beating that they take, like, you do not find a lot of tight ends who can consistently stay healthy for an entire season.
Yeah, it's true. That's just because Kittle's a bitch, but
okay. So yeah, the Lions are 3-point favorites. I think I have to take the Lions just on the back of how ineffective this Packers offense has been. And so either if this Lions offense does show up, I think they can mitigate the threat posed by the Packers defense. But even if the Packers defense plays well, it just feels like there's a strong possibility here that they maybe can't completely with whole deck the Lions offense, and if they get to 30 points, I just don't think the Packers can get there.
Yeah, I think the issue is I don't think they'll get to 30 points. I think the Lions are good when the defense is really bad. Like they beat up on shitty teams, but I don't think the Packers have a bad defense, and the Packers love to generate pressure. And Goff is terrible this season against pressure. I think his QBR dropped 69 points when he's faced pressure. That's the most in the NFL for a quarterback to drop from a non-pressure to a pressure situation. And I think the Packers have a pretty decent defense. And Micah Parsons hasn't been in the headlines all the time, but he is generating a lot of good pressures and causing some chaos back there. So I think the Packers will keep this game close, and then I think they're going to give like a late second field goal to win it. I don't think they'll let the Lions go out and run up and down the field. So I'll take the Packers here. I think your rule is 2 bad teams take the team with the points. I think the rule should also be 2 good teams take the team with the points. So first time the Packers are underdogs.
So just always take the points? Is this what?
Always take the points. No. Just if they're both good or if they're both bad, you take the points.
All right. Well, we disagree. The tiebreaker will be co-pilot Sam, who is predicting a push because he has the
wow. What's that? 9-1?
Lions winning 27-24. It's the annual.
Oh, I thought you meant an actual tie.
No, a push in the spread. It's the annual It's the annual Turkey Day Classic in the Motor City, and this NFC North rivalry is serving up a main course of potential playoff drama. The Lions' defensive front needs to be thankful for their home field advantage as they try to stuff the running game of the high-powered Packers offense, who are looking to carve out a road win. We think the roar of the crowd gives Detroit the extra spice they need to pull off a close victory.
Wow. Sam always goes so hard on the first one. And then by the last one, he's like, Giants turkey win food plate full.
see, I think this is the problem. It's the limitation of the generative AI. I think it kind of blows its load, so to speak, on the first prediction, and then it has no references to reuse, which is why we
its
get
rebound rate isn't quick enough.
Which is why we get like 7 Gladiator references.
It's not teenage Sam anymore. It can't just get back as quickly.
Old withered Sam, just shooting sand by the end of it. But it's tough, you know.
I hope Sam is still searching for his name.
Up next, we got the Chiefs at the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 3-point favorite. Chiefs, are 3-point favorites. I referred to the fact that the Eagles burnt me last weekend. That was a game Eagles rushed out to a 21-point lead early on and then didn't score again. And the Cowboys were able to fight their way back in and then win it. I don't know how much to read into that, because that felt like so much the Eagles getting in their own way rather than the Cowboys playing well, and the credit that the Cowboys are getting coming out of it, which is just like, yeah, look, if the Eagles had just scored 14 points in the second half, you would have basically got blown out. And I know that sounds stupid. It's an oversimplification, but the reality is they were kind of manhandled for the early part of that game, and the Eagles' stupidity and some bad penalties. Even at the very end of the game, the Eagles were basically in field goal range to win it, and then Hurts took a terrible sack to force them out of it. Like, it was more their incompetency rather than the Cowboys doing anything particularly good. But at times their offense does look explosive. So that's what worries me a little bit, going up against a Chiefs team that kind of scores in, like sputters and stalls at times.
I mean, to me, that you could have replaced the word Cowboys there and put Chiefs in, and that was almost a very similar scenario. Like, I kind of don't know how the Chiefs won that game against the Colts. Like, the Colts got in their own way in the exact same way that the Eagles did. And if the Colts had kind of just continued to play the game they were playing, I think they would have won that game. And at the same time, the Chiefs offense at times looks great. Like, the Chiefs, there are certain drives the Chiefs offense has that you're like, oh, this is vintage Mahomes and Andy Reid. Like, look at this, like 8 yards, 12 yards, 15 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, touchdown. And it's like, holy fuck, that was good. And then they have drives where you're just like, this fucking offense looks worse than the Giants. Like, this is terrible. Like, the fluctuations they have in their offense is crazy. And I don't know what to expect game in and game out. And I don't know, like, yes, that was finally the first game they've won in a 1-score game this season, which obviously was completely opposite of last year where they won every game on a 1-score. So, maybe that's something they can take away from that in a positive sense, but it wasn't a very great effort by the Chiefs. And yeah, I don't know what to make of either of these teams. I'm going to take the Chiefs just because I think they are slightly better on both sides of the ball when you look at the offense and the defense, and just together, I think they can put together a better game. Whereas the Cowboys offense is so fun to watch. It is great, but I don't know what you're getting out of that defense from week to week. So I can't trust that defense at all. And I can trust Andy Reid a little more than Schottenheimer. So I'll take the Chiefs.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have performances that stick in your mind so much that it's hard to shake them when you're going through a prediction. And for me, it is that Monday Night Football performance against the Cardinals, which just looks so terrible. And to think that they have that's a possibility for how they turn out. And at the time, that was a must-win game given their playoff standings, and they kind of have playoff hopes again, but maybe not really, but sort of do. Yeah, I think I have to just go with the Chiefs, but not with any great degree of confidence. Like, this is one of those. It's sort of a stay away for me. Under normal circumstances, it would be a stay away, but as it's Thanksgiving, it isn't. But yeah, it will be a fun game, maybe, but I don't know which way it will go.
I mean, the shitty thing this year, I was already looking at it, like the playoff standings. There are a lot of teams that are going to miss the playoffs this year that is a little shocking. Like right now, the Lions are not in the playoffs, which is kind of shocking when you think about it. And then you think about in other years, you would have a team like this, the Cowboys, that would be making the playoffs, and they would be a fun team to watch in the playoffs because they can put up like 60 points on offense. And who knows, they just outscore a team and make a run into the NFC Championship. But like they are way outside getting to the playoffs right now. They need like to leapfrog 6 more teams to get in. Like that's how crazy this year is in terms of the level of parity in the NFL. So it kind of sucks that we likely won't have a team like the Cowboys in the playoffs because this is a year I kind of would like to see them and just see Prescott go for 475 and 4 touchdowns or something.
Yeah, I don't. Their defense kind of sucks, though. I'm not sure if I want to see that in a playoff stinker. But the co-pilot Sam is predicting another push, so a 3-point win for the Chiefs. That's an interesting bet. This mid-afternoon matchup is the dessert course of offenses, featuring 2 of the most explosive passing games in the league. Both teams come in hungry for a win, but the Chiefs' experience in big-time games, especially on Thanksgiving, will be the secret ingredient that leaves the Cowboys feeling a little undercooked. Expect a back-and-forth thriller that comes down to the final possession, with Kansas City winning 31-28.
Ooh.
You know, we do have to give co-pilot Sam some credit. He had the wildly specific prediction of Montez Sweat forcing a fumble, which he did do last Sunday.
That's crazy. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I completely
when
forgot
I was watching when it happened
that.
on Red Zone, I was like, "Oh, co-pilot Sam called it." So, like, he did come up with that prediction.
Nice. Good job, co-pilot Sam.
Yeah.
Even Sam can find a nut once in a while.
Up next, then we follow things up with the Bengals at the Ravens. The Ravens are 7-point favorites. Joe Burrow's back. How big of a difference will that make to the Bengals? This Ravens team, again, also looked kind of slightly unimpressive last week in their win. It's tough to know what to make of either of these two teams.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean towards the Ravens just not being very good. Like, how many times do we have to say, like, oh, now this is the week the Ravens turn it on, and then they just have like a fucking half-ass performance against a shit team? You know, like, we say that about the Chiefs, but then we watch the Chiefs games, and at times the Chiefs at least look good. I don't think I've really watched the Ravens and been like, oh, fuck, here are the Ravens that we thought they were going to be. Like, they've never looked that great this season at any time.
Yeah, I guess the thing you could say is their offense, even with Lamar being back, has been disappointing, and the run game hasn't really been there. And Derrick Henry kind of looks like a spent force, which is the concerning thing because, you know, last year in particular, it was a sort of thunder and lightning approach between Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And now it feels they lack the thunder, and even the lightning might have lost a little bit of a spark because you've got Lamar returning from injury. So yeah, it's tough. But on the bright side, their defense has kind of figured things out. You know, they went from, you know, it's not that many weeks ago that we were saying, I can't even trust them to win a game because their defense is so bad, you know, when they lost to the Texans 44-10. Since then, 17 points against the Rams, 16 points against the Bears, 6 points against the Dolphins, 19 points against the Vikings, 16 points against the Browns, 10 points against the Jets. Like, that's not a murderer's row of teams, but at the same time, it's consistently keeping teams to under 20 points. And if you do that, you're going to win more games than you lose.
Yeah. And I do take it back slightly. I mean, those first 2 weeks of the season, they did look really good, right? I guess when they blew it against the Bills.
Yes.
Late. And then I think they beat the Browns in week 2. And then since then they've looked shit. Yeah.
Well, they lost to the Lions 38-30. That's also not a bad loss.
Yeah.
The wheels kind of came off when Lamar went down and against the Chiefs.
Yeah. And maybe Lamar's just not back. And that's something that I don't get why people don't address, where they're like, Lamar's back and they still look like shit. It's like, yeah, he's back. But like when people get injured, they don't just go back to 100% and like the injury leaves and is gone, especially when it's something where it's like your knee is messed up or you have like an ankle sprain. Like those things still hurt when you play, even if
do we
you've quote unquote
do,
recovered.
do we say are high ankle sprains even real injuries? I think teams
No,
just
they're
make those.
not.
I don't think they exist.
Yeah.
People just make those up so that they can not have to
Yeah.
play bad players.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
So all that being said, I think I'm going to take the Ravens -7 just because the Bengals defense is just as bad, if not significantly worse than the Ravens defense. And you have the question mark about Burrow coming back, so like the same point you just raised about Lamar Jackson, even stronger with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't trust that the Bengals are suddenly going to just click back into really great form.
Yeah, I'm tending to agree with you. I mean, I think Burrow will have a pretty decent game just because he is that type of guy who, he's got a big primetime game here, Thanksgiving. He's going to show up. I just don't think it's enough. Like you said, that Bengals defense is awful. They allow 156 yards a game rushing. That's the second worst in the league. Derrick Henry can have a field day here. This could be like one of those like 180-yard 3 TD games for Derrick Henry here. I don't think the Bengals can stop him. So I'll take the Ravens. 7 is a lot, but I'll take it. I'll take 7.
Co-pilot Sam agrees with us. Has the Ravens winning 30-20. Closing out the holiday is an AFC North clash that is less about sharing and more about a smash mouth, plate smashing battle. If Joe Burrow is healthy,
just like everyone's Thanksgiving dinner.
If Joe Burrow is healthy enough to lead the Bengals, they'll try to light up the scoreboard. But the Ravens' elite defense and powerful running game are a tough meal to digest, especially at home in primetime. Baltimore is set to deliver a serious helping of pain and secure the Thanksgiving night victory.
A little wordy, but I have to give him credit that he is so on top of things this week that he knows Joe Burrow's returning and not to like the Ohio State lineup.
Yes. Yes. No, it's so far so good. Actually got the right year and some things that are relevant to the last week or two. So that's, calling the Ravens defense elite might be generous. But yeah, doing well so far. So then we move on to that Black Friday game, which is the Bears at the Eagles. And the Eagles are 7-point favorites. This is to have a Friday night game. I love the time of day that they put this at. The fact that this is actually watchable for me, that it's not Friday night. It's an afternoon game, even though it's being played on a Friday. I have to applaud the NFL for making that decision. But this is a tough one because this is the Eagles who managed to get in their own way in as many ways possible, and the Bears who managed to get out of their own way in whenever it matters. So I think I'm going to trust that the Bears run has to come to an end at some point, and that the Eagles, the good team after a loss theory, has to come through here to a slight degree. And so that with the pressure and all the speculation surrounding the Eagles, that they'll be out to prove a point in a primetime game. And, I'll take the Eagles to win and to cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Eagles are the better team. I think the good team after a loss, they're going to come out. They're really going to know what their game plan is, and they're not going to get caught up in we have to give it to A.J. Brown, and we have to spread out the ball. Like, they're just going to come out to win this game. Still pretty crazy. Caleb Williams, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which, not turning the ball over is very impressive. But then Jalen Hurts has 17 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Equally as impressive. 2 quarterbacks combined that have 5 interceptions on the season. It's but I guess the downside is they don't really throw the ball that much. Their yardage is pretty low on the NFL's list. But I just made this rule of 2 good teams. You take the team with the points. And we discussed off podcast if I tease this, is the better bet Eagles -1 or Bears +13. I think now I'm starting to be swayed towards 2 good teams take the points, and I'll take the Bears here with the points. I think that's a lot of points for a Bears team that has kept almost every game close, except that Lions blowout that they had very early on in the season. So yeah, I'll take the Bears points here, but I'll take the Eagles to win.
All right. Well, Co-pilot Sam disagrees with you. It has the Eagles winning 29-20. Black Friday brings a tasty treat as the Bears head to Philadelphia, but they might find the Eagles' defense as relentless as a bargain hunter looking for a deal. While the Bears' young quarterback continues to show growth, the Eagles' pass rush at home will be the difference maker, forcing critical turnovers as Philly protects its turf like a precious discounted flat screen TV.
Wow, you really Black Friday that.
Yes. Yeah. The real struggle is going to be the Sunday games now, because there are a lot of references to use, but now we might see some repetition as it tries to deal with a slate of Sunday games that don't fall on a particularly special day. And moving on to Sunday, we've got, it's disappeared on me. We have the Cardinals at the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers are 2.5 point favorites. I guess the question here is,
I think Baker's out.
He's out for a while, isn't he? Isn't the speculation? And is Jacoby Brissett back?
I don't think Kyler Murray's still on the Cardinals. I think they cut him.
So it seems Brissett is starting, in spite of his injury that he had last Sunday.
Oh, yeah, because he was also injured. I forgot about that,
Yeah.
What's the spread? What'd you say again? Sorry.
It's the Bucs by 2.5.
Oh.
And I got this goes into a too bad team category for me now. Again, I feel like a broken record because I've been speaking about the Buccaneers kind of reaching tipping point in terms of the number of injuries that they had. And at the beginning of the season, it was offensive line concerns, and then it was Mike Evans. Now it's their quarterback. This team is a shell of the version that we saw in the first week or two. And I just, the Cardinals are bad but competent. And I see no reason to think that this Buccaneers team will be able to handle them. Like, the Cardinals defense forces the occasional turnover. Jacoby Brissett, like, they air the ball out. They move the ball consistently against everybody. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I will take the Cardinals plus the points. I'll take the Cardinals to win as well.
Yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from here, but I don't know. I still think the Bucs are a better team overall. The Cardinals, I don't know. I would never bet this game. This is scary. I'll take the Bucs here. Actually, it's reading that Mayfield could be a game time decision, is what I'm seeing. I can't imagine he's going to play, but I mean, he is Baker Mayfield, so who knows? Who's the backup again? I don't remember who went in. Oh, it's Teddy Bridgewater. I remember who went in. It's Teddy Bridgewater. That's right. Because we had to listen to Bill Simmons talk about Teddy Bridgewater.
Two-glove Teddy, as they love to call him.
Two-glove Teddy is two-glove. That's a pretty good nickname, though. I'll take two-glove Teddy, actually. I'll take the Bucs to win this over the Cardinals.
All right. Well, co-pilot Sam has the Buccaneers winning 27-16. The Buccaneers need a win to keep their own holiday hopes alive, and the struggling Cardinals provide a perfectly aged can of cranberry sauce of an opponent. Expect the veteran presence. We knew it would struggle coming into Sunday. Expect the veteran presence of the Bucs to be too much for the young Cardinals, as Tampa Bay's defense ensures this doesn't turn into a high-scoring track meet. Weird reference, but avoided naming any players, so that's the major pitfall avoided there. From there, we move on to the Falcons at the Jets, and the Falcons are 2.5 point favorites. I gotta say, this Sunday slate of games is absolutely awful. I mean, it's really, I can't even pull out I don't want to see a single moment of the game horn on this one, because I think I could use it about 7 times. But I mean, you could say
Eddie,
the Falcons.
Come on. The classic Kirk Cousins, Tyrod Taylor matchup we've all been waiting for.
Probably seen it 7 times before, but I mean, the Falcons still kind of have playoff hopes. That's the positive for them. But yeah, I mean, the Jets are just so incompetent. You have to take any team playing them. And so I'll take the Falcons to win and cover the spread. And if anything, the 2.5 points is probably a little bit generous to the Jets, given just how bad they've been throughout this season. But it's just hard to trust Kirk Cousins, and it's hard to trust this Falcons team.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kirk Cousins was slightly better against the New Orleans Saints, which isn't saying much. I think he had like 200 yards and a few touchdown passes. So yeah, I guess off of the back of that, you're saying he's warming up finally. So I'll also take the Falcons over the Jets. I can't trust the Jets. Again, not a game I'll be betting.
Co-pilot Sam agrees with us. It has Falcons winning 23-17. This game is a leftover special where both teams are desperate for a late season boost. The Falcons offense has the firepower to wear down a tough Jets defense. And even at home, New York's offense hasn't shown enough consistency to put together a full, satisfying performance. Atlanta sneaks out of the Meadowlands with a much needed victory.
It is a leftover special, Cousins and Taylor. That's the leftovers.
Yeah. Up next, we got the Texans at the Colts. The Colts are 4-point favorites. I mean, I guess we can start by speaking about that Colts performance against the Chiefs last week. It looked so good for so long, and then they just lost the plot in the fourth quarter. And then they did the bizarre thing in overtime of deciding to get the ball first. I mean, we all know now, right? That's not the move. The Niners famously made that mistake in the Super Bowl when they received the ball first. Like, the best case scenario is you score a touchdown and you give the ball back to a Kansas City Chiefs team that now gets to operate with 4 downs the entire way down the field and potentially go for 2 to win it. Like, I don't understand why you would ever, like, they showed themselves what the game plan is by immediately having a 3 and out, having to punt to the Chiefs and putting the Chiefs in a position where they just needed a field goal and realistically like 30 yards to win the game. Yeah. It's such a stupid move.
The only thing that I could think of that they were thinking of is that if the Chiefs get the ball first, they could, knowing the Chiefs, have like an 8-minute touchdown drive that would then leave the Colts kind of in a hurry up offense to try and score, and that they would rather have the ball with as much time as they want to have their own drive, not be dictated by the clock. And we've talked about this before, like, is the clock an issue in overtime? Is it not? We kind of both agreed that the clock can get down, but even when you have 2 minutes 30, you can still run a pretty normal offense. So I don't know, but that's got to be the only thing they were thinking about, is that the Chiefs love those long, sustained
that can't
drives.
have crossed their minds. That would be insane. You still, even 2 minutes with 2 timeouts, you're fine. I think the only thing they could think of was,
are you though? Because their offense loves to run off a Taylor. Like in an optimal situation, you would want 6 minutes for the Colts so they could just run Taylor every play.
If you're making a decision because you're worried that the other team is going to string together an 8-minute long touchdown drive, I mean, come on. If that's a conversation with the Colts owner standing on the sidelines, if she overheard that conversation, I would fire the coaches there and then. That would be an insane bit of logic to be using. Like, there's only 2 things you could maybe say. I could reverse your logic, and they could say, maybe we could put together an 8-minute touchdown drive. We love to run the ball. Maybe we methodically work our way down the field, and we give the ball back to the Chiefs with, 3 minutes left, and it feels a little bit. But even then, is that a concern? The Chiefs really worried? Good news. We've got Mahomes in a 2-minute drill. That's always gone well for teams. Like, nothing to worry about. Let's put the W down right now.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know what the other, like, I don't know why you do it though. If
they're dumb,
if clock isn't part of your reasoning, and I'm not saying, like, I agree with you. Yes, it could have been either way. Like, the fact that they wanted to have as much time to run their offense and potentially set the Chiefs up to only have 2 minutes left or something like that, where like they want to dictate the clock, let's say.
So you've brought clock into this conversation. I don't think that would have even factored in. I think it's literally the idea of, let's go score a touchdown and put them under pressure. And that's so stupid because, again, it's instant 4-down territory. And as I said, you're always then going to run the risk the Chiefs go for 2. And I'd rather be the team going for 2 than the team trying to hold off the 2-point conversion to win the game. Like, whilst it's probably a 50-50 chance, and in a way, like, if it's the team I'm supporting or a team I've bet on, I kind of don't want them to go for two because I just don't have a lot of faith in 2-point conversions sometimes. You still have to know that you have the disadvantage in that scenario. So yeah, it's so stupid. Like, and honestly, I think people should be questioned more and held to account more for that decision because we see it more often than you would think based on, the Niners did it so famously in the Super Bowl. Like we know how, and the Niners, even in that scenario, got the field goal. They even got a score on the board and it still put them at a disadvantage. All that being said, I think the Colts will bounce back here. They've been consistent at kind of beating good to bad teams, which I think the Texans have a very good defense. And that win against the Bills on Thursday night, which feels forever ago, even though it was just a week ago now. But, like that was a game where the Bills really got in their own way, as we spoke about in the last episode. I think the Colts will just be able to move the ball on them still, and you can't trust this Texans offense. So I expect the Colts to win and the Colts to cover. And in a sense for the Colts, they need to get this win just to have their standing within the division look that little bit more secure, because there is the risk that if the Texans win this, that it does become, a bit of a contest that it didn't look like it would be early on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm going to take the Colts as well. I actually did just look up, did Steichen explain his decision as to why he took the ball first? And he does. He has a very specific reasoning. He says it's about 50-50 analytics. No, but then he actually says the reason they took it in his mind is because you can get the ball first and, like you said, score a touchdown and put the pressure on them to then have to score. But he said the nice thing is, with 10 minutes left, if your drive stalls out right away, you can punt to them. And if you stop them, you are likely to get the ball back for one more possession.
Insane.
Is what he said.
Insane.
He said, so we have two options of either we score first, or if we don't, as long as our defense can step up, we'll probably get the ball back and have one more chance to score. But with that philosophy put outside, maybe I change my vote to the Texans and trust DeMarco Ryans has a better philosophy. Yeah, the Texans are starting to improve a little bit. I don't know what to make of the Texans here. They've won 3 in a row, and against Buffalo and the Jags. I'm going to take the Texans. I think this is the beginning of the end for the Colts here. They've lost 2 out of their last 3. Probably should have lost to the Falcons. They won that game in overtime. I think this could be the beginning of the end here. I think the Daniel Jones run is coming to a close, and I'm going to take the Texans to beat them in a very low-scoring game.
All right. Well, co-pilot Sam has the Colts winning 24-21. AFC South rivals square off in a match with huge playoff implications, and it's going to be a heated debate at the dinner table. The Colts' running game has been the foundation of their success, and they will lean on it heavily to control the clock and keep the Texans' dynamic offense on the sideline, ultimately outlasting a tough division rival. Not a huge Thanksgiving theme there.
No.
Just the theme. Just the heated debate at the dinner table. That's the best that they could kind of come up with there.
Co-pilot Sam's Thanksgiving must be a little rough. He's already discussed arguing at the dinner table, now smashing plates at the dinner table. What kind of Thanksgiving is co-pilot Sam having?
Greek one. Up next, we have the Jags at the Titans, and the Jags are 6.5-point favorites. I'll be quick on this one, I guess. Jags somehow escaped that game against the Cardinals with a win. More down to the Cardinals than that was another one with just terrible coaching decisions down the stretch to kind of make life easier for both sides, really, from both the Jags and from the Cardinals. And I know they defended it post game, that Cardinals game, the decision to go deep on the 4th down So stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid. I get it. It's the hero move. And if you pull it off, you get people credit you for having balls and what a great throw. But he literally had people open for the first
Yeah.
down. The only way you go deep there is if he's literally beaten the corner, and actually you're just throwing. Not only has he not really beaten the corner, there's also then the safety there as well. So you're just throwing into double coverage. It's just kind of a crazy move, but the Jags kind of keep getting away with things. The Titans are so bad that I'm just going to have to take this is going to be default Jag selection, but I don't have a huge amount of confidence in it.
Yeah, I'll say the same. I mean, the Titans worked their way into a backdoor cover last week, which was pretty impressive. Luckily, I had the teaser and survived, only to lose on the last game of the night of the weekend. So that was fun. Yeah, I agree with you. I'll take the Jags. I don't love them though.
The co-pilot Sam has the Jags winning 31-17. The Jags are looking to put the AFC South race on lockdown, while the Titans are just hoping to avoid the dreaded burnt bottom of the pan loss. Jacksonville is simply the better team on both sides of the ball right now, and they will turn to their own explosive playmakers to pull away easily in this divisional mismatch. I think Copilot is, maybe listening to our podcast and responding to criticism, and has just decided, don't name specific players. Yep. And if I don't do that, could be any year. Up next, got the Rams at the Panthers. Can be quick on this one too, right? The Rams are just so much better than the Panthers in every facet, and kind of just steamrolling teams at the moment. And even when they're not winning, you referred to like the backdoor cover, potential with the way the Titans had against the Seahawks last week. And maybe there's a little bit of that here because the Panthers are 10.5-point underdogs. But realistically, to be taking the Panthers, I mean, we saw in their performance against the 49ers, Brock Purdy was doing his best to keep the Panthers in that game, throwing, multiple first half interceptions. And even then, the Niners
sucks.
Well, we'll get onto that. But even then, the Niners won comfortably and kind of like keeping the Panthers at arm's distance, and could have won by more had they needed to. Could have scored more in the down the stretch. So we just have to accept. We've seen Bryce Young's one really good performance of the second half of the season, and it's not happening again. And the Rams will win this easily.
Yeah, how the fuck did the Panthers beat the Packers? That's crazy. Yeah, Bryce Young versus the Falcons in his career, 4-1. 226 yards passing per game, 10 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Bryce Young versus everyone else in the league, 8 for 26, 180 yards, 36 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. It is crazy that he can only play against the Falcons, it seems. So with that, the Rams are not the Falcons. The Rams are the best team in the NFL, and the Rams will blow them away.
Co-pilot Sam agrees with us and has the Rams winning 34-17. The Rams come into this one ready to stuff the Panthers like a Thanksgiving bird, with an elite passing game led by their MVP candidate quarterback. Good move by it's learning. Don't name him, just say MVP candidate. That could be anybody. Carolina's defense will put up a fight early, but the overall talent difference between these two squads is vast, and the Rams will cruise to a dominant road victory.
Expect Kurt Warner to have 4 touchdown passes.
It's learning. Got to give it credit for learning. And then we can move on to the Saints at the Dolphins. I guess this is probably the worst game in a way. Like, there's very little reason to be interested in this one. The Saints are 5.5-point favorites. The Dolphins are 5.5-point favorites. It's a tricky one because the Dolphins have actually looked pretty good over the last few weeks, but can you really get to the stage where you trust them? We didn't have the chance to talk about Tua's insane post-game press conference in Madrid when he got asked, where else in Europe would you like to play? And he started by saying Hawaii, and then adjusted to Jerusalem when probed further on an international game. Insane.
Yeah, it's a shame. We're seeing several people's cognitive decline in real time, and Tua is one of them.
The thing is, though, is this cognitive decline, or is he just always been a complete moron? And he would have said this when he was 15 years old. Like, that's
maybe both.
Yeah, a little bit of both, but it makes it hard to judge. I think kind of got to trust that the Dolphins have kind of got their stuff together over the last few weeks, and at least their offense in particular is. I would still have reservations whenever they're going to play on the road in a cold situation. I think they're a hard pass in that scenario, but otherwise, it looks like they are actually kind of back to being somewhat like what we saw from them a couple of seasons ago, where they could move the ball and score points and do just enough to win games.
Yeah. There might be prayers at the dinner table for Thanksgiving, but the Saints are going to be eating scraps, Eddie, and the Dolphins are going to be riding home to victory.
Okay, trying to keep up. Let's see. I'll score that at 2 out of 10 for you, and then we'll see. A co-pilot has the Dolphins winning 28-14 in a battle of teams looking for late season consistency. The sunshine and speed of Miami should be too much for the traveling Saints. The Dolphins offense, with its blazing receiving core, will finally click and put up big numbers against a good but tiring Saints secondary, serving up a big performance that reminds everyone that they are a contender.
They're
for
contender.
What? We don't know.
Yeah. For the last pick in the draft?
Yeah, I'm not.
Or the first pick, I should say.
Yeah. And then to wrap up the early slate of games, because this wonderful scheduling,
terrible games.
This wonderful scheduling means that we only have 3 late afternoon games. It's the Niners at the Browns, and the Niners are 5-point favorites.
I'll keep this short. I think the Niners are a better team here. Definitely on offense. I think their defense looked better against the Panthers, but I don't know if that was just Bryce Young just being that terrible. Good news is Shadeur Sanders, as bad as Bryce Young is, Shadeur Sanders is even worse. So I expect that to be an easy win for the Niners. But I do expect Myles Garrett to have at least another 2 sacks. So Brock Purdy's in trouble.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think people were overreacting to how bad of a performance that was from Brock Purdy. It wasn't good, but I feel like, he was trying to. The difference between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy is that Brock Purdy's going to attempt those throws, and when everything's working, that's going to be the reason why the Niners are, could be the difference between them and just a sort of good to average team. The sort of game manager approach with Mac Jones is not going to win you big games. So I didn't hate them. I think one of those was just a great play by the Panthers corner, the one who kind of really covered, came right away from his side across to the middle of the field. I think there's no reason for Brock Purdy to really be making that, to sort of even registering that that's a threat.
The other ones, just interception or the 7th one, I can't remember.
The others, he was just kind of forcing throws, but it doesn't bother me too much. I think he'll put in a good performance here. The Shadeur Sanders love post that game is just outrageous. Just people treating that as if he made one really nice play, which is just him scrambling to his right and then just launching a ball downfield. And it showed nice arm strength. You can give him that. But other than that, it was blown coverage and just a sort of backyard football play. I don't know if that to me isn't what you were hoping to see when you're really feeling like you've got elite level talent. I want a guy who is comfortably sitting in the pocket, executing the play that you designed, not someone who's just kind of pulling a play out of their ass once in a game. And then he had a screen that went for 60 yards for his only, for his touchdown that just padded his stats. So,
yeah. I mean, I'll put it this way. You're not as big a fan of QBR as I am. But I think what QBR does really well is it understands when a quarterback is actually doing things versus throwing a -2 yard screen pass that goes for 70 yards and then getting the credit for 70 yards of passing when he did absolutely fuck all. His QBR in that game was 8.7. That was hands down the worst besides JJ McCarthy in the entire NFL that week. It was not a good performance. He went 11 for 20. That wasn't good. He had 209 yards. 3 passes accounted for 170 of those 200 yards. That is, and 2 were screen passes. That's not a good performance. It's better than his 2.3 the week before, but he was not good. He had one, you're right, he had one good play that he rolled out to escape a sack and then just threw it up. That was his great play. to say he had like that great a performance against the worst fucking team maybe in the NFL is not good. And I just hope the Niners are like I know they're not healthy, which is unfortunate, but I just hope they're still good enough that they just fucking make his life miserable and it goes back to him being a shitty quarterback again.
Yeah, and look, there are sometimes in the criticisms of Shadeur Sanders some racial undertones, and it's delicate, right? But he seems like such an asshole overall. Just his confidence in himself, and it's a mixture, right? You want a little bit of the swagger. I do enjoy a bit of it. I don't mind him saying, "Hey, what are you hoping to show people today that I'm the person they've been looking for?" I actually don't mind that as a comment. That's okay. But the post game, it is a me conversation that he's having. And also on top of it, I even found his interactions with Max Crosby to be kind of strange, where he was really speaking to Max Crosby as if they were complete peers. You know, like, "Oh, why were you telling your defense to come after me today?" Like, "Oh yeah, well, I beat you." It's like, dude, it's your first NFL start, and that's one of the best defensive players in the NFL. Just show a little bit of respect. Your dad might be famous, and you may have been in and amongst these players your whole life, which I think is the thing that hurts him, is he feels like he's a peer because he has always been in rooms filled with NFL superstars who have treated him as if he is talented and going to be in the NFL one day. And so there's no thought there of that, like, I need to kind of learn the ropes and show some respect to players who are currently there. But that worries me. I'll give us some other pushback. I'm going to throw also the Ringer NFL pod or whatever it is. We've kind of spoken about this. The people saying, "Oh, I'm angry at Myles Garrett for the fact that he's achieving this great thing on a shitty Browns team." One thing, the Browns defense is legitimately good, so I don't think you can just plug Myles Garrett into any terrible defense and he gets this many sacks. A lot of the sacks he gets is because there's pressure coming from other parts of the Browns defense, and he's able to be the difference maker sometimes, but oftentimes any other player in his position would also probably get a sack. The second thing is, if he was on a contender, you might not be just fucking sending Myles Garrett every down in the same way that the Browns are happy to do right now. So he's getting licensed to chase sacks because he's on a bad team. And if he were playing for the Rams, they might say, "Hey, Myles, like, you went for that sack and that allowed the running back just ran out into the flat and got a 19-yard pass. Like, can you maybe sort of consider not just hunting the quarterback every play?" You know, like, so whether or not you'd rather be a Super Bowl winner or have the single season sack record, that's for Myles Garrett to decide, I guess. But it's not as if he can just copy and paste his performance and stick it in with any team. All that being said, I think the Niners will absolutely thromp the Browns.
I hope so. I really hope so. I am upset Nick Bosa's not here because, you know, you talked about racial undertones. I think Nick Bosa would. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that could be.
Don't got to say anything.
Yeah. This is the co-pilot Sam as the Niners winning 24-13. This is a game of two phenomenal defenses, meaning this one will be a low-scoring, gritty, mashed potato and gravy kind of contest. While the Browns try to pound the ball on the ground, the 49ers defense is simply a juggernaut that will smother Cleveland's offense. San Francisco's balanced attack will eventually grind out enough points for a solid road win. That's a lot of praise for this 49ers defense, but all right, moving on to the 3 late afternoon games, which don't really get any better. There's one, I guess, good
At least you got
game.
some decent teams.
Do you?
Yeah, I think
you
so.
Have 2 decent teams, 3 decent teams. 2 of them are playing against each other.
No, that's not a decent team.
Oh, you're gonna put the Chargers in the decent team category.
7-4.
Just got absolutely smashed by the Jags last time out.
Hey, take a good team after a loss, right?
Well, yeah, sure. They're 9.5-point favorites, so I probably will be predicting them to win because they're playing against probably the worst team in the league. But other than that, I don't trust them. Kick things off with the Seahawks or the Vikings. The Seahawks are 11.5-point favorites.
Yeah, 11.5 is strong here. Everything else about this is you take the Seahawks. I mean, we talked about how bad Shadeur was, and he was bad, but the only thing worse than Shadeur so far has been JJ McCarthy, who this stat blew me away. Now ranks 851 out of 852 potential quarterbacks in EPA per dropback among qualified passers since the year 2000. The only player worse than McCarthy in EPA per dropback is Jamarcus Russell. That's how bad JJ McCarthy has fallen. You cannot trust him right now. He does not look good. The Seahawks, on the other hand, are I think a very good team. I think they'll win this, and I'll take them to win this comfortably. I know that they didn't cover against the Titans, but that was kind of lucky. I think they kind of just let the Titans get back into that at the end. I'll take them to win and to cover.
Yeah, I think that's it's a fair point, and as we've spoken about over the last few weeks, this Seahawks team, score points for fun, force turnovers for fun, and yeah, I see it's hard to make a compelling case for the Vikings. Who I do feel a little sorry for JJ McCarthy. Like, he's bad, but I think the situation is bad too, and
yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, that's such a tough situation.
No, but you're not just made by having two wide receivers, but I feel sorry for him that people are just piling onto him to the degree that they are. It's not a good Vikings team. So, and that he's hurt by the fact that he's been bad. Then people love to bring up, they had Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold on their roster. Yeah. Like they have two MVP candidates that they just let go and now they have JJ McCarthy. Like, that's also not his fault. So I feel a bit sorry.
Yeah, it's not his fault. It's their fault. But, and it's even the Jones ones I'm okay with. Like, it's the Darnold one that looks pretty bad. But I mean, I think what looks worse is he wasn't a good college quarterback. Like, you watched him in college and you were like, okay, this guy can hand the ball off really well. Like, he'd make 6 passes a game. Like, I don't understand where the hype came from to begin with, that he was drafted that high. Like, this has just been, I think, an overall general manager failure in this and the Darnold situation. It's just not a good look for them. It's unfortunate that he gets the brunt of it and not the general manager.
Yeah, I mean, the tough thing, right, in that draft, if you were going to take a quarterback, okay, you could have taken Bo Nix, which I guess right now that's a no-brainer. He was taken 2 picks later. But it wasn't exactly a quarterback-heavy draft. So, it's not one of those where you can point to several quarterbacks drafted below him. So if you were, with the 10th pick, you were going to take a quarterback, you had a 50-50 shot of it being someone pretty good. Like, I think if they'd had Bo Nix, I don't think anyone's too critical, right? Spencer Rattler went in the 5th round. I know you don't like you're unnecessarily down on Bo Nix. So that's, like, you're in the minority on that front.
I think Nix is better than McCarthy, and I thought he was much better in college as well. Like, you could never have told me take McCarthy over Nix in college. That would have been crazy.
No, I agree with you, and probably if I'd been a GM, I would have made the same decision. But if I'd been in that draft and I had to take a quarterback, obviously the first 3 all turned out to be pretty good, or look as if they're going to be good, with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and I mean, Michael Penix Jr., maybe. Like, you feel jury's still out on Penix, but feels like it was a reach at 8. I
think he's done.
But I think the defense of the Penix and the McCarthy pick is like, there wasn't a lot of talent QB-wise other than those first 3. And normally when you look through later rounds, I mean, it's kind of representing the fact that you had 6 quarterbacks go in round 1, and then another quarterback didn't go to the 5th round.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you had Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Joe Milton, maybe. Is that the best quarterback left? Devin Leary and Michael Pratt.
That's Chris Pratt's brother.
That probably would have been the best reason to draft him if that actually were the case.
right, next game. Or no, sorry. What does Sam say about this?
Co-pilot Sam has the 4:05 slot offers a critical NFC battle where both teams are fighting for the final scraps of the playoff picture. The Seahawks have been excellent at home this year, and their defense will make life miserable for the Vikings quarterback. Seattle puts a stranglehold on their home field and earns a crucial win to stay in the hunt. 26-19.
More leftover takes.
Also, just refusing to say names. This really is.
I love it.
This signs that it's learning. Up next, we have the Bills at the Steelers. I mean, I guess this is the best game of the day. Bills are 3-point favorites.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
I don't even know what's coming close to it, really.
Rams, Panthers, maybe? I don't know.
Texans, Colts is probably the only other thing you could make.
Texans, Colts is actually a pretty good game because it has playoff implications in it.
So does this. Not directly, but
yeah, I guess.
I mean, not divisional, but they both need the win.
Yeah.
It's almost must-win for both. It's more must-win for the Bills than it is for the Steelers, but it's basically must-win for both of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the Steelers are a playoff team, so I don't think this is a must-win for them because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're not good. Come on. They are not a good team. Come on. They're not good. The Bills are on paper better, and I think they'll win this pretty comfortably, actually. I'll take the Bills here. You can give me -12. I'll take the Bills. Is Rodgers out?
Doesn't matter.
No. No, I think Mason Rudolph might be better. That's why I'm asking.
Aaron Rodgers is.
He's
optimistic.
He's not even on the injury report.
They are optimistic that they will play, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, he's not even on the report, so I think he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, this is seriously must win for the Bills. So for that reason alone, I'm just going to take. I'm not sure if they're a good team anymore. I think we've seen enough performances in recent weeks. Like, I don't know where I rank them, and if we don't do power rankings, but if we did power rankings, they're not in the top 5. That's for sure.
Are they above or below the Chiefs?
I think.
Oh, he almost bit.
I think below.
He still might. Yeah.
I think the ceiling. I think the ceiling for the Bills is obviously way higher, but they're so inconsistent that I think in a real power ranking assessment, I have to put. Now, this is also tough because I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs, and I think the Bills are going to make the playoffs. So how do I have a playoff team ranked below a non-playoff team? I mean, you kind of do sometimes because of divisional consequence, like permutations, but yeah, this is especially factoring in that the Patriots will almost certainly win on Monday night. The Bills absolutely have to win this game. So I'll take the Bills to win and the Bills to cover, but I have no faith in them anymore.
I have faith in them against the Steelers.
Well, so does co-pilot. Has the Bills winning 28-23. Get ready for some wintry, hard-hitting football. In Pittsburgh, that feels perfectly suited for a... Okay, sorry. I messed up with the punctuation there. Get ready for some wintry, hard-hitting football in Pittsburgh that feels perfectly suited for a late November afternoon. The Bills will try to air it out, but the Steelers' aggressive defense will make this a painful game for both quarterbacks. Wow, their defense is going to make it.
They're going to hit their own fucking That's how much they hate Aaron Rodgers. Is that they're willing to fucking hit him too.
Ultimately, the Bills' slightly more explosive offense finds just enough room to maneuver for a narrow victory.
That's funny.
Then we have the Raiders at the Chargers. Chargers are 9.5-point favorites. I don't think the Chargers are good. I'm not going to overreact to the Chargers getting a big win here. The Raiders are just like criminally incompetent and absolutely terrible. And you know what? This is actually what annoys me to kind of finish off how I don't like people being critical of Myles Garrett. why are people not being critical for Max Crosby? Like, why does he get a pass? He's not even getting to break records or do anything at all
Yeah.
noteworthy. He's just wasting away on a terrible
Yeah.
team. Not a good defense, nothing. Myles Garrett at least gets to be part of, hey, remember that Browns defense was really good, maybe the best defense in the league, and Myles Garrett broke the sack record. It's just, oh yeah, Crosby. Yeah, he was pretty good, but the team really blows. Like
Yeah.
people should be more critical of him than they are of Garrett.
Yeah, Max Crosby, look at him. He always looks miserable on the sidelines, like he hates every one of his teammates. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make this super quick. Raiders, worst team in the NFL. Chargers will win, and you have to take them to cover, even though 9's a lot. Like you can't take the Raiders in any scenario. So
Yeah, agree with you. So does Copilot, has the Chargers winning 30-20, so just covering. It's an AFC West throwdown, and the Chargers are looking to put a fork in the Raiders' season for good. With the Chargers' high-powered offense clicking, they will expose a Raiders secondary that has been prone to giving up big plays, securing a comfortable divisional win. And then Sunday Night Football. Broncos at the Commanders. Broncos are 5.5-point favorites. Commanders are just in free fall at this point, right? Like their season is done. They're put in some terrible performances in recent weeks. The Broncos, okay, you can be critical of their offense and the fact that it does not perform consistently, but their defense is legitimately good. They force turnovers. They give Bo Nix short fields. So I think the Broncos will just win this easily.
yeah, I can't disagree with any of that. I'll take the Broncos here to win and to cover.
And Copilot agrees, has the Broncos winning 27-16. Sunday Night Football is serving up an interconference battle where the impressive Broncos are hoping to maintain their spot at the head of the AFC table. Denver's dominant defense is going to completely overwhelm the Commanders' struggling offensive line and force multiple turnovers, leading to a long night for Washington fans and a 27-16 win for the Broncos. And then we wrap things up on Monday night, the Giants at the Patriots, and the Patriots are 7.5-point favorites. I guess I can congratulate you because the Giants last week became the first team eliminated from playoff contention. So that's an achievement.
Good start.
Yeah.
So this is a game that supposedly Jackson Dart is going to be back. I want to throw out the idea of, do we even bother starting Jackson Dart anymore this season? There's only things to lose putting him out there. Yes, he'll get more experience, but I think he got enough experience. He played a few games. He did well. He's coming off a concussion. You're in the same division as Jaden Daniels, who you're watching also in real time, pretty much potentially ruin his career with continuous injuries. We're watching Tua, who ruined his career with continuing concussions. Like, they are not a good offensive line. Maybe we just sit Dart. Jameis Winston has looked pretty good. Like is the jump from Jameis Winston to Jackson Dart right now that great that you're willing to risk Jackson Dart's health to potentially win 3 more games and lose a good draft pick? Like, I know you have to start him, and I get it, but at the same time, I kind of don't get it, and I wish they would just sit him for the rest of the year and let him fully recover and not get him hurt again. I don't think the Giants are bad. Like, I honestly think they're the best bad team in the NFL. Like, they've lost a lot of close games now to a lot of good teams. But I think this is another close game that they'll end up losing. I'm still not sold on Drake May, but he does have some pretty good stats. I don't know if you saw, he's 71% completion rating. Tom Brady set the team record at 68, so he's on pace to break Brady's completion record, which is pretty impressive because that was, Brady was always known for, great completion record and things like that. So he's having a good season. I'll give him that. So I'll take the Patriots here to win. I'll take the Giants to cover. Fuck it, they keep games close.
All right. I think the Patriots will win this easily. So I'll take the Patriots to win and the Patriots to cover. I get what you're saying about the Giants kind of keeping games close, but it doesn't change the fact that they're bad, so And it is interesting. They still have the same fourth quarter woes, even with a new head coach, and still questionable fourth quarter decision making and play calling, even with a new head coach. So, the more things change, the more they stay the same from a Giants perspective. So yeah, I'll take the Patriots to win and the Patriots to cover, as will Co-Pilot, which has the Patriots winning 20-10. We close out Week 13 with an old Super Bowl rematch that looks more like a bowl of the. Oh, God, sorry. We close out Week 13 with an old Super Bowl rematch that looks more like a bowl of stale rolls this year, with both teams struggling to find their offensive rhythm. However, New England's defense remains a consistently strong unit, and their disciplined approach will easily contain the Giants' offense for a low-scoring grinder of a victory.
Oh, Co-Pilot Sam, not only did he fuck up that the Patriots aren't a good offense, he throws in grinder on the last one. What an animal.
Just a little wink and a nod to the listeners. But I did on the...
Was it spelled without the E?
Yeah. With a little trademark symbol next to it. And with the... Seeing as he did so well on the forced fumble prediction last week, I specifically asked, give two specific player performance predictions for this week. And Co-Pilot Sam, he's feeling himself on the back of that prediction last week. These are not just big numbers. These are pinpoint predictions for players who are set up for massive performances. And he's highlighted DeAndre Swift versus the Bears. Get ready for a huge day for Swift on Black Friday. The Chicago Bears have a solid defense, but their linebackers can be exploited in the short passing game. I am predicting that DeAndre Swift will rack up exactly 95 total yards from scrimmage and score 2 receiving touchdowns as the Eagles use him to control the clock and exploit the middle of the field.
Wait, what?
And the second prediction is Myles Garrett.
Wait. DeAndre Swift is on the Bears. What's he talking about? What the fuck's he talking about?
Look. All right, give him a break.
That could be the worst fucking prediction on the planet.
Well, the next one, he's got Myles Garrett, who definitely plays for the Browns against the 49ers. Facing the 49ers' balanced attack won't slow down the Defensive Player of the Year candidate. The Browns' front is dominant, and Garrett will use his elite quickness against the veteran tackle. My specific prediction is that Myles Garrett will record 2.5 sacks and force 1 fumble in the low-scoring, gritty battle, completely flipping the momentum of the game in the trenches, although it also predicted the 49ers to win. So I don't know what the momentum is.
Co-Pilot Sam, DeAndre Swift on the Eagles. That would be impressive.
Well, right game.
So does he mean Barkley or does he mean DeAndre Swift?
You are absolutely correct, and I sincerely apologize for that error. That was a huge mistake on my part, especially given the context of the game. DeAndre Swift is the running back for the Chicago Bears, who are playing the Philadelphia Eagles. My prediction was based on him playing against the Eagles, but I incorrectly assigned him to the Eagles' offense. Thank you for catching that.
What a moron.
So, there we go.
All right. Anything else?
No, I finished Death by Lightning.
How was it?
It's pretty good. Some good acting performances in there overall. Like, it could, weirdly, it's sort of caught in between either whether it should have just been a movie or if they needed to dedicate a little bit, the 4-episode thing, it's like either I need a little bit more meat on the bone or a little bit less. Like, I feel like you're giving me 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and it's not, that's where it may be disappointed. Like, maybe I needed a bit more Garfield background. Like, there's the occasional flashback to the Civil War. Give me more of that, or give me, more of something. I don't know, but just a lot of events happen very, very quickly. I did actually fall asleep when he got shot, so that's maybe not the greatest indication. But,
did you watch Train Dreams yet?
No, not yet.
I've heard it's very good.
Yeah? I'll give it a go this week.
I
did watch One Battle After Another.
Oh, yeah. I've been dying to watch it, but I want to go to the theaters actually to watch it. People say it's like really good in the theaters. It's a theater movie is what people tell me.
Didn't strike me as a theater movie. I have to say.
Really?
I don't know what the added experience would be. It's also
3
2 hours
hours.
and 2 hours and 45 minutes long, something like that. So that to me
Yeah.
is a non-theater experience for the
Makes it
simple
tough.
thing of that means I need multiple drinks.
Yeah. And pee
Like
breaks.
I can survive the non-peeing, but it means I have to go get a drink. As we've discussed, there has to be an intermission if you're going to do that.
Yes. Agreed.
I'm not sure it's good.
Oh, people love it.
Yeah, but this might be the like Emperor has no clothes scenario of a movie where it's DiCaprio kind of playing the hits. He's doing the sort of manic DiCaprio, this is what I do. Sean Penn's just kind of fucking weird in it. Benicio del Toro's good in it, but also just sort of kind of almost a cameo performance and is also leaning into just being weird. I don't know if it's good.
Okay. I'll watch it this weekend and then we can discuss some of the specific
The opening
scenes.
45 minutes. Here's my real criticism of it. This is where I like long movies. So I'm not an anti-long movie hater, but I do think that now we've given people license to make 3-hour-long movies. The editing process that they go through is maybe not as strenuous as it should be. The opening 30 minutes of the movie should be just a 5-minute quick setup. And instead we get just a lot of unnecessary detail, a lot of just pussy references for half an hour. Like, that's just strange.
All right. Well, now I'm excited.
It's just weird.
I hope that's the whole 3 hours.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't watch the right movie. But I'm not sure it's good. I think if we
Did you watch the One Battle After Another, the Bonnie Blue edition?
Yeah. I think if you changed all of those actors to relatively unknown actors and I watched it, I would come away saying, I don't think that's a good movie, but because you're sort of invested and predisposed to thinking, oh, it's a really good director with DiCaprio only makes good movies now. Oh, Del Toro does interesting things. Sean Penn doesn't do a lot anymore. So if he's doing it, he must be good. And he's weird in it. He must have really got into that character. Like, I don't know. Those were just nobodies. You go, that guy was too weird. He wasn't convincing. No one is really like that. This is stupid. What's happening here?
So like a 9 out of 10.
Honestly, I give it a 7 out of 10. It probably should be a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'll probably watch it this weekend. I've got some time. That Sunday slate of games isn't the best either, so maybe I'll just go to the movies anyway.
Is it still in theaters? Long theater run.
Yeah, because it's like they want people to see it, so I think they're going to keep it in there for a while.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. We're being forced to accept these Oscars that it's undoubtedly going to win.
All right, I guess with that, we'll call it a day.
Sounds good.
I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Cheerio.